Morning viewers. Many of the things I have told about the Hindu mythology and Akshaya Tritiya, the importance of Akshaya Tritiya and why do we celebrate Akshaya Tritiya. It is popularly known as Akha Teej also in Hindu mythology. But many of you may not be knowing what is the importance of this as per the Jainism, right? So let's strike today a new card on Jainism, and in the third age, how in the third age of Hunda Basar Pini in Ayodhya, there was a king, and the king's name was Nabhi Raja, and the queen was Maru Devi, right? Nabhi Raja was the king and Maru Devi was the queen, right? And they were blessed with a son called Rishabhnath. They were blessed with a son called Rishabhnath, or now popularly known as the Adinath. As per Jain Dharma, Jain religion, Adinath was the first Tirthankar in Jainism, right? And that time there was a tree called Kalpa Briksha. You all must be knowing what is the importance of Kalpa Briksha in Hindu mythology. Kalpa Briksha was giving any kind of things you are asking by prayer, right? Whatever you are asking in the form of prayer, Kalpa Briksha was immediately allowing it to be in front of you or on the palm of you, right? That was the importance of Kalpa Briksha, and that time it was popularly called as the Bhoga Bhumi, the land of enjoyment, right? And during that time, the disciples of the Kalpa Briksha and the people of the king, the citizens of that kingdom, were enjoying all the bliss by simply asking from the Kalpa Briksha. That is why popularly it was called as the Bhoga Bhumi. But slowly, when they went on asking many undeserving things to the Kalpa Briksha, the power of the Kalpa Briksha went on diminishing further in due course of time, right? And because of the power diminished, the people, whenever they started praying further for getting the blessings from the Kalpa Briksha, it was unable to give the required amount of things which they were praying. Then that time something happened. It started giving the poverty to the citizens of the kingdom. Daridrata, the poverty, alighted in the kingdom. The people were hungry, the people were thirsty, and the people started starving for days together without food and water, right? So this time some miracles happened further, because as we know, our mother earth, which is called as Basundhara, the mother of all of us, did something miraculously, that it started raining. That time it started raining, the seeds started sprouting, and as the seeds started sprouting, the plants germinated, the trees, the kingdom of the plants was started, right? With large amount, the harvesting of the things were to be done, but that time, due to ignorance of people, they were not capable of doing the cultivation. The cultivation was not done, exactly the way it had to be. So what happened this time? The first Tirthankar of the Jainism, Rishabhnath ji or Adinath ji, he started teaching different techniques, starting from weaponry, how to make sharp weapons, how to start making the weapons by the help of the metals such that they can plow the field and they can have the proper cultivation and the plantations of their required things in the form of food grains, right? So there are 6 different techniques of first Tirthankar in Jainism, Rishabhnath ji or Adinath ji, started teaching to the people that time in Ayodhya, right? And he transferred his knowledge of these 6 basic techniques, starting from Asi or the weaponry, Vidya and all. In details I can't cover in this video because it will be long enough. So he started the 6 techniques to the people who were the follower to him, and also importantly he imparted this knowledge to his daughters Brahmi and Sundari, right? So Tirthankar, the first Tirthankar, started imparting the knowledge to his daughters Brahmi and Sundari, and they started preaching, they started telling or transforming this knowledge to the people of the land, right? So slowly what happened, this Bhoga Bhumi, which had made people lazy, number 1, right? They were just asking in the form of prayer and they were getting everything. They were blessed from the Kalpa Vriksha. So they were not working. They were only leading their life lavishingly without doing any work. That was like the heaven we dream for. That we do not have to do any work and we will be blessed with everything. So people had no work to do. And that is why the Kalpa Vriksha started diminishing its power. Because nature balances everything in life. You can't relish, you can't enjoy, you can't lead your life lavishingly throughout your life without doing your karma. So law of karma comes into this place. Immediately as it smells something like something wrong is happening in our life, the law of karma immediately comes into action. That is why the scarcity happened. That is why the starving people, they started learning the techniques from Rishabhnath ji. They started learning the techniques from the first Tirthankar of Jainism. And because of his enormous eternal knowledge of making the weapons, the knowledge of cultivations, the knowledge of business, the knowledge of commerce, the knowledge of dealing the life, he went on training people in several ways throughout his life. And this Bhoga Bhumi was transformed to the Karma Bhumi. Karma Bhumi. So when you have to do the karma, then only you will enjoy the fruits of your karma. That is how Akshaya Tritiya, the importance of Akshaya Tritiya arose. Right? That is why in many of the peasantries, in many of the farming families, you will come to know that this day, this auspicious day, we go to the field, we go to our farmland and we sow some seeds in this auspicious day, right? That means we start our cultivations for the session from this auspicious day called the Akhatis or Akshaya Tritiya on this Vaishakh Shukla Tritiya, right? So this is the importance. This is the importance that unless you plow your field properly, you are not going to get the seeds to be germinated properly, and you are not getting the cultivations, properly, means crops will not be giving you any blessings, means you will be hungry without food, you will be starving without water, and you know very well what happens to the mankind, right? So this is the story of how the Kalpavriksh's power diminished, how the Bhoga Bhumi was slowly transformed to the Karma Bhumi by the Tirthankar, first Tirthankar of Jainism, right? There are many mythology, many stories in our Hindu culture, and the importance of Akshaya Tritiya, where Lakshmi's story is described, Dhanvantari's story is described, Lord Vishnu's enormous knowledge is described, and there are endless number of stories in our Hindu culture, unending number of mythological stories in our Hindu culture. But practically, if you think of that, what was the summary was the transformation of Bhoga Bhumi to Karma Bhumi. So, अपना काम करे जाओ, अपना कर्म करे जाओ, फल की आशा मत करो. गीता की महान शिक्षा जो भगवान कृष्ण ने हमको दे रखे हैं, उसको भी हम थोड़ा बहुत अपना लें on this auspicious day. कर्मण्य बाधिका रस्तु माँ फलेषु कदाचन, कर्मण्य बाधिका रस्तु माँ फलेषु कदाचन, इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए आपने on this auspicious day again you repromise